Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Rebecca Omokaru Okolo and I'm the founder of Dr. Health and More Tutorials. Today I'll be sharing how I passed the USMLE Step 1 exam in 3 months. If you'd like to know about that, please keep watching this video and I'll be making more videos like this, so don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. A little bit about me: I have written and passed the USMLE Step 1, Step 2 CK, Step 2 CS, Step 3 all at one sitting. I've also written and passed the MCCEE, QE1, QE2 and NACOSKI exams in Canada, UK. I have written and passed the PLAB 1, PLAB 2 MSRA exams. So I'm sharing my journey, and I also started a tutorial program to help doctors interested in writing these exams. So today it's all about the Step 1 USMLE exam. Let's get started. I made the decision to write the USMLE Step 1 exam. I was motivated by my friend, and it sounded like a good idea for me to do the exam. So we made a plan to start reading first aid. So every day our goal was to finish one chapter in a day, and then we'd talk about it during the discussion. So at one point, even though we fell behind in that goal in terms of we didn't get to talk to each other, I still made sure I stuck to finishing one chapter in a day. So in about 2 weeks, I think, I was done with the first aid. And so I felt like I could go book my exam. So I registered for the Step 1 exam. And when the time was getting near, I realized I wasn't ready. So I moved the exam. Then I wrote the MCCEE exam. And I found out I could not move my Step 1 exam anymore beyond the validity period. So I had no choice but to write the exam. Well, it was a very scary experience for me, knowing that I wasn't ready, I wasn't prepared for the exam, but I had no choice but to take it or forfeit my money. So I spoke to my family. My husband kind of supported me in whatever decision I wanted to make, maybe leave the exam or go ahead and write it. But my mom was like, you have to go take that exam, like deal with the fear and move, right? So I made up my mind to write the exam, and so I started studying. I grabbed my UWorld and I went through the entire UWorld once, and after that I didn't know what else to do. So I spoke with a friend, a medical doctor in the United States, and he advised me to try NBME self-assessment. So I went on the NBME self-assessment. Like at that point, that was a couple of maybe 5 days to my exam. I'd never heard of NBME assessment. So it was everything happened so fast because I had just written my MCCEE in January. And I spent all my efforts on that because I really wanted a very, very good score on my EE exam. So my Step 1 was scheduled for March, and it was all so, it happened so fast because after really studying so hard for the EE, I needed to give myself a break and rest. So I kind of started studying for my Step 1 about the last 2 days in January. So I had basically February and March only just to prepare for my exams. So my Step 1 was for March 30. So 2 months to prepare for Step 1 exam. What did I do? I already said, I first of all grabbed my first aid, being the fact that I'd already spent 2 weeks before that reading first aid. So I just took my first and read just the first half of the book, which is where you're taught the basic principles. So I educated myself on those basic principles, went into all of that in detail, and after that I went to UWorld, solved all the questions in UWorld. I was still very confused, you know. Then I reached out to the doctor, as I said, and he told me about doing the NBME self-assessment. So I did the NBME self-assessment. My score wasn't so good, but what I picked from that was I knew the areas where I wasn't doing so well. So I went back to the UWorld and focused on just those questions. And my exam was just 2 days away. So good thing was that the exam came. I kind of improved in that area. So on the day of the step 1 exam, the dreaded step 1 exam, I walked into the prometric center and I was so confused. Like, I've never been that confused in an exam in my life. Like, I was wondering, what am I going to do? Why am I even here? Like, I shouldn't even be writing this exam at all. But I was amped up by family. So I went into the exam center and I gave it my best. Thanks be to God, I passed that exam and I was so happy. So I'm making this video because after my video on my experience with the licensing exams, a friend reached out to me and said, Becky, if I had known you then, I would have written my step 1. And I was like, oh wow. So what I got from that, I'm actually making this video to encourage anyone planning to take the step 1 exam. The exam is not that hard. Human beings like you and me have written them and they have passed. So the first step to passing any exam is understanding that you can pass. You don't need to listen to what every other person has been telling you about how difficult it is, how tough and all of that. You are tough. You went to medical school. You can do it. And you can do it in 2 months or less. You can do it however long it may take you. All you need to do is have a formula. For me, I didn't have any discussion partner and I didn't read excessively. I wouldn't say I went studying for 6 hours a day. No, actually I had a very short attention span. So I kind of, my secret to passing was studying the questions in UWorld and understanding what is expected, looking for buzzwords, looking for keywords. I didn't use flashcards. I kind of made mine up, looking at the question in details, looking at the structure, the words to watch out for. I would say that was very important to me passing that exam. The second question is, do I really need to know a lot of basic sciences to pass step 1? I'm sure a lot of you think you really need to go into all those details, but actually the clinical experience you have and the clinical knowledge you already have is very, very helpful in the step 1 exam. So I think my EE experience, that's the MCCEE, even though it wasn't based on clinical basics, basic sciences, the clinical knowledge I had gotten from the EE really helped me in my step 1 exam. The third thing is how long will it take me to prepare for step 1? It all depends on you and your personality. If you're someone that reads a lot, you can be ready in 3 months, you can be ready in 2 months. And mind you, I wrote my step 1 when my baby was barely 7 months. So I studied with a baby, and this is to encourage all mothers out there that having a baby shouldn't stop you from pursuing your career. It might be difficult, but you can do it, and I'm rooting for you. And I'm really passionate about letting women know that we can all do this thing. Having a family, getting married, having kids should not stop us from pursuing our career. Okay, so I don't know if there's any other question. Feel free to ask in the comment section. I'll be very open to answering them. So you can reach me on all social media handles: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Health Then More. My name is Dr. Rebecca Kokolo. Till next time, take care of yourself. Ciao.